Michael, thank you for the super chat. Thanks y'all for the info. Real question: How are y'all ever satisfied as audiophiles? I feel like y'all have such refined taste. It's got to be hard. Not really, man.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you. What do you guys think? What do you guys think in the chat?
It's not hard for me because getting to test all this equipment, I have an idea what the upper limits are, right? And I know how bad it can be. And there's a certain level where, like, when it hits this level, I'm like, that's good. I'm getting all the bass. It sounds tonally accurate. I'm getting good imaging. Where else do you go from there? You know, I think where people get screwed up is when you look at the price, though, the price is almost like infinite. It can go infinitely high.
Dude, that one system with the crazy horns at Exponent was like $4 million apparently.
Yeah, and so if you don't get a chance to test out all these speakers and hear all these different systems, then it kind of makes you think like, well, if I spend 10 times as much, it has to be better. It has to be better. There's no reason why it's that much more expensive. And in reality, could be worse. Right? I measured some speakers, sometime this week that are $7,000 each. I wouldn't pay $500 for those. You know what I'm saying? So,
are you reviewing them, or
no? No, they're just some that I measured in the system, and I saw the measurements. I'm like, ugh.
That's what's funny is what's his name? Mark Levinson was just in. There was a video about him talking about the what do you call it? The mafia style of the pricing for all these things. Ironically, though, anything Mark Levinson fucking expensive as shit too. So what are we talking about here? But he's like, no, we want to run everything very small, so it's a quality, piece that you're getting, and you're getting more than just one piece at a time, right? It's not just an amp; it's an integrated. It has ABC, XYZ, whatever. But at the end of the day, I kind of have a negative connotation to that word audiophile, and so just because of the experiences I had as a kid going to these mom and pop places with my dad. And my dad was the guy who really was all into it. And that's how I got into it. Right. So if I'm an audiophile, I am an accidental audiophile. I was just, what are we doing, Dad? What's a Macintosh? Right. I'm fucking 7 years old at this stereo place. Macintosh, Bang & Olufsen, and Nakamichi. That's it. Right. This is in the 80s. All right, that's it. That's where I got exposed to this shit. And he had a Bang & Olufsen home at home. Huh?
We're talking about the chat about the Myers Sound PA system that we heard. That
oh my god,
how much did it cost? Around like under $20,000, which is
under $20,000. Yeah, still.
But these were some. They had DSP, and I asked Shauna, okay, these are $20,000 for this system, and it sounded awesome. When you went to Expona and you heard some of these $1 million systems, did any of those beat that one?
Not even $100,000 speaker system beat that thing.
So it's like, what are we talking about? Like that system sounded awesome, right?
So and that was like the tops were like dual 5-inch with like a horn, and then a 121-inch subwoofer, and it's all self-contained, so they're all self-powered. So $20,000, not just speakers, but that's $20,000 with the amplification, right? Some of these $20,000 just for the speakers, and then who knows, maybe another 20 or 30 for the cables, the cable risers, the little ladies that come by to hold the cable risers up.
Yeah.
And then
I do want to hear those blades though. The way that you describe them, I'm like, I do want to hear those in a good room, because that might change my perspective of what the top is. Be like, oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, that did something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, Michael. By the way, I love your avatar picture. I don't know what that is, but it looks like
Mickey ears, right?
You're having a hell of a lot of fun. Some sort of ears, yeah. At some point, like it like what Joe's saying is like at some point you're just like, okay, well, that's just enough, right? I loved hearing the Focal Grand Utopias. Would I ever spend $280,000 on a pair of speakers? I mean, maybe, after like I've had like $5 or $10 million, right? I'll buy the Lamborghini and the Porsche and the Ferrari before I spend $300,000 on a fucking pair of speakers, right? Let's be real. But at the end of the day, man, I'm looking around at like speakers that cost like way less than my speaker system. So my previous speaker system that's still in that other house, just the speakers alone were 10 grand, right? And I'm looking around here and this shit was like way less, like not even $3,000, not even $2,000 what I paid for. So, it's just a matter of tuning the system to the room. And once you get that done, dude, I have a feeling like I told this dude, Joe and I had this conversation back when he still had his shop. I'm like, I bet you anything, bro. I get a pair of speakers in my house. I just play with the bass and treble and I'll make it sound good. Right? Like it's not a huge deal. But there are people that have that $1 million that want to spend $750,000 on a pair of Sonus Faber Suprema, right? Just because you get flown out to Italy for 3 nights and you get to pick all of the different aspects of your speaker. And then once they are finished, they get shipped to your house and somebody from Sonus Faber comes in and tunes it to your room. And now you can tell all your doctor friends that I spent $1 million on these speakers. Or 7, yeah, right.
Probably what it is. That's probably what it is. I saw some Bowers and Wilkins today that had some nice wood. I didn't hear them. I didn't ask to listen to them. I just looked at them and I said, those look expensive. And you don't have to know anything about speakers, but if you walk into a place and you see some Bowers 802Ds, right? The ones with the round
diamonds, yeah.
You'd be like, I don't know anything about speakers, but those look expensive.
Well, you know what's funny? I used to watch this show called $1 Million Listing, right, in New York and whatever. And sure enough, there's somebody, boom, got a pair of those in their living room, and they're trying to sell. I'm like, damn, this apartment must be expensive, right? Of course, it was selling for like 15 million or something.
What's your experience? What's your experience to answer that question, Aaron? Like, is it hard to like be satisfied, or is it like, how do you approach that? You get to check out all kinds of speakers, expensive, inexpensive. Where do you land?
I don't think that it's changed me any. Like,
those blades changed you.
Yeah, I mean, because those are excellent, but I'm so happy with, dude. Like, I can't look at the number of hours that I have spent just listening to music playing directly off of my phone while I'm in the office, like trying to set up, or in the garage trying to set up. So I don't know. If speakers sound bad, they sound bad. It doesn't really matter what they cost or what they look like. I've heard.
So you're this guy? You're this guy here?
Yeah, I'm just like.
Dun, 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 dun. And then he uses his psychoacoustic knowledge. He's like this. Look, if I make a word guide,
I can't
word guide this thing. See,
corner load it. I put it corner load everywhere. Yeah. A few years ago, this is funny. I actually thought about getting a little 3D printer so I could like 3D print some like little things that would like attach on. And I was going to call it an iPhone horn. I was like, I'm gonna sell a boatload of these things.
I've seen that. I've seen a huge one though, where they throw it in there and it's like goodness. Really like corner. Oh, it's a huge horn for it. So would you say that you could be satisfied with a system, let's just say, where the speakers are, under $2,000?
Yeah.
Considering you've reviewed some that are $30,000, you could be happy with that.
I think. I mean, because I don't have the kind of money where I can afford $30,000 speakers. Like even with the hookup price, right? We've actually talked about this, so I have to be satisfied with speakers that are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a pair. Like that to me at this point in my life is like the upper point of where I'm able to spend. But yeah, man, there's all sorts of really good speakers that are like $700, $800 a pair. Especially if you can use a subwoofer separate. Like if you're not trying to get really low bass out of it, and you use a separate subwoofer,
I don't want to say which speakers these are, but these are some that I measured. All right, so this is the in room. Did you say ill?
Yeah. It's kind of.
Don't try to guess what these are.
Kef blades.
No.
Aaron.
In room measurement.
What is that, like
near
a 7 dB drop at the crossover?
Yes.
That's
This is the
rough,
left
man.
and right, so they're consistent. This is that's the left, and this is the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely some similarity in how they both
This is a
measure.
near field measurement.
Yeah, this one, these two, the top ones.
Uh-huh.
So these are $7,000 each. It's pretty expensive. And then this is the in-room directivity. So,
Bro, those things would split my ears.
wow. So the price isn't always in accordance with how good the speakers are. I've seen you reviewed some Polk XT20 or something like that. Super cheap one. The directivity is better than that.
Yeah.
Those are like
I'm assuming that the ones that you're talking about at least look better, right?
Yeah,
Like-
they look better. They look a lot better, but
they're in-wall speakers.
but at the end of
Al.
the day, like, what are you gonna do?
Close. But yeah, $7,000 each. So I wouldn't trade my speakers for those. If I had to choose between these speakers and, I don't know, any others. There are a lot of other speakers I would rather choose from a sound quality standpoint. Maybe from a look standpoint. These are in wall, so it doesn't matter.
Make sure to check out our audio-only version of the podcast at anchor.fm/Daily HiFi, or just go to your favorite podcasting service and search for Daily HiFi.